Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
In this particular session, we will talk about the process of the performance evaluations, and under the performance evaluation, we will have the establishment of performance standards, communicate the standards and the measure the actual performance. So, when we talking about the establish the performance standards, so normally we are focusing more on these the benchmarking practices, that is what are the benchmarking practices are there, and with company objectives and values, every organization will be having the different value systems and ensuring that the criteria used to evaluate the employees performance directly support the broader strategies, goals and the cultural ethos of the organization. Every organization is looking for a particular way of performance, and therefore, the parameters will be also different, and the benchmark practices of the each organization, that will be depending on that what are the strategic goals are there and what type of the culture is there in the organization. This alignment is crucial as it ensures that the every employee's contributions are directed towards the company's mission and vision. And as the we talk about the manufacturing industries or the service industries, or within the manufacturing and service industries, the specific the vision and mission statements of the organization, that will be directing to set for the performance standards. That will make you the purpose driven the workplace, and because as we will be placing these particular standards, then in that case definitely the employees they will start practicing to meet those standards, and as a result of which workplace environment will be created. If we create these standards which are the very high competing, then definitely in that case the workplace that will be also having that influence of the competition. So, to balance it better workplace and the achievements of the standards is required. So, performance standards should be derived from and directly linked to the strategic objectives of the company, and for example, if a company prioritizes the innovation as a core objective. So, if a company prioritizes the innovation as a core objective, its performance standards should be include the metrics encourage and measure the innovation. So, whenever we are talking about that is the new idea generations, like when we talk about the Sony, or when we talk about the Google, we talk about the Apple, then definitely in that case when we are talking about in the India, Dr. Reddy's laboratory or pharmaceutical industries, then definitely the innovation that will be becoming the buzzword, like we have seen in the COVID time also in India, that is the how this vaccine has been created and has been helped the whole world. So, this type of these if you want to develop the products, naturally your performance standards that will be different, and the number of these new ideas which will be generated or the successfully implemented in the projects, then there your performance standards and the process of evaluation of performance that will be definitely totally different. While the overall objectives and values should remain the consistent across the company, the specific performance standards may need to be tailored to different departments or the roles. So, whenever we are talking about the performance standards which will be required to be the tailored in the different departments, then within the same organization with the same mission and vision, the performance will be different from the department to department. This customization allows for the standards to be relevant and achievable. Many times we have to see that is the core nature of organization that decides the same performance standards for the different departments, and according to me that requires more attention, and there is a need to understand that is the one department's performance standards will not be the same for the other department which is within the same organization. And here we have to find out there is a if there is a tech team, right, pushing the software development, or a sales team enhancing the customer engagement, or the HR people, those who are working for the leadership, then their process, their actions, so that will be different. And so when your tech team is different, is having the different goal, your the marketing team is having the different goal, and because they are looking for the more customer engagement, and your HR team, they are looking for the internal customers. And whenever we are having this type of this performance, the requirements are different, naturally it is expected a standard pro forma for the performance evaluation will not fit for all in the departments. So, therefore, there is a need to understand the job profiles and the department wise, section wise the objectives and the activities, and then customize the performance standards. So, I would like to take as an example here, that is aligning the performance standards with the company objectives and values. So, imagine a tech startup in innovator tech that values agility and employee empowerment. To align the performance standards with these values, HR plans a series of workshops with the department heads to define the key performance indicators, KPIs. This I have talked earlier also in my previous session, that is the fixing of the KPIs for the performance standards is a very sensitive issue, and therefore, the experienced people are required, those who can focus on this type of this the performance standards fixation, and HR can support, facilitate the different departments managers, that is the what key parameters indicators they should keep, because that will require the HR manual. And HR manual, when there is a job description and job specification, then definitely in that case you will require to make the specific standards and that embody the agility and empowerment. For example, for the software development team, performance standards include not only the code quality and the project completion rates, but also proactive contribution to innovation sprints, and the participation in the cross functional training is required. So, here when we are talking about the software development teams benchmark practices or the putting the standards, then definitely in that case there is a requirement of this proactive contribution to understand, that is it should not focus only on the main task of this code quality, but they have to also requires to give an attention for the cross functional the performances. So, this approach aims to view the company's strategic goals and cultural values into every employee's daily task is there. So, here we have to understand what are the tasks are to be performed by the employee, and when these tasks are to be performed, then there will be the certain requirements or eligibility, or there will be the certain actions, goals are will be fixed, and the employee is supposed to work under that particular umbrella of the goals. This example also help us to understand, that is the how can we ensure the performance standards and align with our company's strategic objectives and the cultural values. Now, whenever we are talking about, that is the we have to plan the customized performance standards, right. So, it will be not only with the organization's cultural values, but also to be the strategic objectives depending on that particular department or a particular section. On basis of this, we can find out that is the whatever is requirement is there to fix the performance standards of the employees, those performance standards will be fixed. Now, basically the principles when we talk about the fixation of the performance standards, naturally one will be the fair, another is it should be the equitable to all, that is those who are working in the same department, and the inclusive metrics. This I will discuss in detail. So, when we are talking about these fair, equitable and inclusive metrics in HRM performance management, it refers to the establishment and use of the performance evaluation criteria that are impartial. So, there should not be any biasness, because if you are judging the parameters and the performers, then there has to be the impartial approach, and when you are having the impartial approach, then you will be able to focus on that particular not only the performance, but it will be very rationalized the performance evaluation process. It should be non-discriminatory, as I mentioned, no biasness, and the considerate of the diverse backgrounds and roles. Now, employees are coming from the different academic background, different social background, different economic background, and therefore roles of the all employees these keep on changing. Technically, the performance standards are same, but when you are having the employees, you have selected the employees for these different socio-economic and technological background, then definitely the performance standards that is required to be considerate. And these metrics aim to ensure that every employee is evaluation based on the relevant objective criteria without bias related to their race, gender, age or other the unrelated factors are there. So, therefore, the performance has to be measured with those parameters which are the rationalized and justified. To achieve the fairness and equity, the metrics should have designed to apply universally where appropriate, alongside the additional role specific criteria are tailored to the distinct functions of the different jobs. The approach helps in measuring the performance in a manner that accurately reflects each employee's contribution and the responsibilities are there. So, therefore, when you are measuring this type of these performance measurements, then definitely in that case that every employee should feel that it is customized and the expectations from me are very specific to the my job and myself, and therefore, in that case that will reflect each employee's contribution and the responsibilities are there. So, it should be so customized. So, every employee is having the satisfaction about his whatever the standards are. He should not feel that it is unrealistic or there is some biasness is there, or they have not considered certain the parameters which are likely to be considered in this particular job. So, it is vital for the organization to maintain the transparency about how performance is measured and how these metrics are applied. Clear communication about the criteria and the rationale behind them helps in building the trust and acceptance among the employees, fostering a sense of fairness and inclusivity. Here I would like to take the example of the another case study and that consider the global solutions, a multinational company with a diverse workforce including the remote teams. To develop the inclusive performance metrics, HR collaborates with consultants specialization in diversity and in inclusiveness. So, therefore, in that case we have to also consider and consult about the experts, maybe from the department, maybe from that particular machinery or technology or particular area, like I have given the example of the marketing and the technical team. So, therefore, for the sales people it will be different and for the technical people it will be different. So, this realizing in diversity and inclusion is to be required, so that they create a performance evaluation system. They uses the standardized project outcomes to assess the performance. while also including the metrics like the collaborative teamwork and the cultural competency. So, global solutions is making these performance standards so customized that is they also consider the metrics which are having the HR aspects, and this system is designed to fare across various roles such as in office employees and the remote staff, or by focusing on outcomes and the core competencies rather than physical presence in the office or work hours, and which accommodates the different time zones and the work life balance preferences. Because we have to also consider that is the working hours and the working timings, and naturally the ergonomics will also play a very important role, that is on what machine and what level the person is working, what timings he is working, and therefore, when we are talking about these work life balance preferences, we have to also consider that is what challenges one is facing. So much customization that focuses and solves the answers to the question, that is what metrics can we use to measure the performance that are fair, equitable and inclusive across the diverse job roles and the employee backgrounds are there. So, therefore, as I mentioned, these are the above these two case studies that will be making helping us to understand, that is the what equitable and inclusive the diverse job roles and employees the socio economic, technical, academic background is there. This integrating the continuous improvement. In these some of the previous sessions I have talked about the continuous learning, and this continuous improvement in HRM performance management refers to the ongoing process of identifying, evaluating and enhancing the individual and the organizational performance is there. So, it should be have the continuous appraisal. I remember when I was working into industries 36 years back, that time it was the appraisal was once in a year. And then I found that is appraisal has become now the 2 times in a years. Then now I find that is the it is going to be the evaluated and reported that is every day, and especially in the banking industries and other customer based industries, day to day appraisal is done, and then maybe the collective appraisal, like for example in the bank there is a branch. So, branch performance is not maybe the formally, but it is focused on whether the targets and the functions and the job responsibilities are done or not. So, jobs are becoming very stressful because you are the under continuous appraisal, but however, it involves a regular assessment and feedback is necessary. So, that what was the limitation of the earlier performance appraisal system, that is at the end of the year if you say somebody that is no, this has gone wrong, then it was not making the any purpose or the support. So, these feedback cycles that aim to the steadily improve the employees skills, process and outcomes, because the continuous feedback that is helping him to improve, and therefore, that monitoring of the appraisal is not for to take any action against the employee, rather than to support him and to know him that where he requires improvement in the skills, what skills he is performing, whether he requires improvement in those skills or those processes and the outcomes which are aligned with the strategic goals. So, this continuously improving performance management systems necessitates the providing the employee with the access to the training and development programs. I have talked in the training and development program and their appraisals and the training needs, training assessments, methods assessments, that is the this performance appraisal is the a basic core cause of designing the performance appraisal and the training programs. So, when you are making the appraisal of any particular person, then immediately you know the strengths and weaknesses on his skills and his performance and his using of resources and his own ability. So, the training will be making this ensures that employees not only they understand their current performance levels, but are also get equipped with this particular training with the necessary tools and knowledge to enhance their capabilities. So, it is a vicious circle, it is a continuous process also. So, therefore, in that case when you are making the performance evaluation against the standards, you come to know that is the where the employee is required to improve, and when you provide the training program, then you measure his performance, then again you come to know that is how much improvement is there, and then accordingly you may raise the performance standards for that particular employee. Leveraging the advanced HR technologies such as the performance management software and data analytics can facilitate the continuous monitoring and the analysis of performance data. The technology allows for real-time feedback, trend analysis and the predictive insights. These helping organizations to the proactively manage and the improve the employee performance is there. So, naturally whenever the HR technologies for example, the software and the data analytics are there, which you will be also understand these methods in practice, and that can facilitate continuous monitoring and the analysis of the performance data. Now, here I would like to take the third example and as the aspects of the integrating the continuous improvement. So, at Auto Advance, a manufacturing firm, HR introduces a performance standards that includes the continuous improvement as a core component, and here the organizations which are having the high rate of success, basically they are having the close monitoring, and each employee sets the quarterly personal improvement goals. So, it is not for the purpose of to remove the employee or to punish the employee, rather than it is for the personal improvement goals. So, immediately action can be taken. So, operational efficiency and the innovation that both increases. Employees are evaluated not just on their immediate job outputs, but also on their documented efforts to learn new skills or the optimized process. This initiative includes the providing access to online courses and in-house training sessions to support the employee growth and adaptability. This example is help us to understand how can we integrate the continuous improvement and the innovation into our performance standards. When we talk about the adapting to the changes in the job roles and industry standards, adapting to the changes in the job roles involves the continuously analyzing and updating the job description and performance criteria to reflect new responsibilities, technologies and methods. This is very important point. Unless and until the employee does not understand that is what is his job and what skills are required from him, then in that case there are the chances that is there might be the deviation from his overall competency. So, in job roles involves analyzing and updating these job descriptions and performance criteria to reflect the new responsibilities. So, whenever you are having these new responsibilities, then you will have the more and more opportunities, right, and these ensures that performance management standards remain relevant as the job functions evolve due to the technological advancements or to shift in business strategy. More you will be remaining into the relevant into the continuous evaluation and integrating these job roles and industry standards. Naturally, the advancement at the workplace or the shifts in a business strategy has to happen. Now, aligning with the industry standards to these changes in job roles and the industry, as we have seen, like when we are talking about the industry 4.0 or when we are talking about the artificial intelligence, and this point emphasizes the importance of keeping the abreast of changes in industry standards, certifications and best practices. HR managers need to integrate these changes into the performance expectations to maintain competitive and the compliant. So, workforce practices. So, regular industry benchmarking helps ensure that the company's performance standards are up to the date and in line with the external expectations. Not only this, this will be adopting the changes in the roles and industry standards that will also make you prepare for the future expectations of the business, and when you are getting updated with your business for the purpose of making this all the requirements fulfillment through the continuous evaluation, developing the skills and knowledge, then definitely in that case you will find that is the your employees as well as the organization, they are meeting their strategic goals. Another the case study I would like to mention is this, that is about the health plus. So, these adopt the how these the changes in job roles and industry standards. So, health plus a healthcare provider that faces the frequent changes in healthcare regulations and the technology. As we know, that is a business is working under the business environment. When it is working under the business environment, then social, political, economical, legal and technological, and especially when we talk about the healthcare industries, then definitely their legal and technological changes are very fast. So, HR develops the adaptable performance standards by instituting the annual reviews of the job descriptions along with a flexible skill development program. Unless and until your these standards and your evaluation process is not flexible, then it will not be sustainable. So, in that case telehealth in technology evolves that performance criteria for the healthcare providers are the adjusted to include the proficiency in new that is telehealth platforms and compliance with the updated privacy regulations. As we have seen, that is this telehealth has become the very emerging area, and especially during the COVID and after the COVID, this has become the very popular, and these criteria are communicated through the regular training sessions and integrated into the appraisal system by the Health Plus, so that they are able to adjust to include these proficiency in the new telehealth platforms. Unless and until these telehealth platforms are not match or the not fixed, then in that case definitely it will be very difficult for the organizations to the meeting these goals. So, here we find out that is in what ways can we make the performance standards adaptable to changes in job and the roles and industry standards. So, this particular case study is helping us to understand that is the how we can make the performance standards adaptable to the technological changes. Now, if from the above example of the Health Plus, we have seen that is these telehealth processes including the many the not only the chronic diseases or in the case of these the normal routine also we have seen that is the now the one industry and that catering to the number of products that is increasing the efficiency. But we should not forget that is this type of these healthcare issues when we are implementing in the organization, these are changing the parameters and the metrics of these the employees, those who are working into the pharmaceutical industries. Now, they are required to make their changes into the production systems, and not only this that will affect into the market also. So, your marketing team that is also required to make the changes. However, when we are talking about these fixing up these the parameters and metrics for these the Health Plus employees, then definitely in that case these has to be the high flexible and adaptable. I am sure that is the when you follow the standard performance parameters, and then you create a matrix and in matrix is such a flexible, but as we have seen there is a scope for the training and development. Unless and until we do not train our employees and we keep on changing the metrics, sometimes the technological, some organizations they make this type of mistake, that is they don't give opportunity to develop and adopt those technological changes. So, if we are not putting these opportunities to develop, then your performance metrics and your performance standards will be very difficult to meet, and as a result of which the overall organization maybe have the sufferings. So, to avoid this, it is necessary, that is the whatever performance standards we are keeping, we one side we make them flexible and adaptable, while the other side we ensure that is the employees, those who are getting affected by these changes and environmental factors, they have enough opportunity to learn to new standards. So, they then only they will be able to perform as per the expectation of the organization. Now, we will talk about the incorporating the qualitative and the quantitative criteria. So, question arises, that is what type of the metrics or the parameters we have to develop. So, it should be the mixed one, and incorporating both qualitative and quantitative criteria in a performance management involves using a mix of data driven metrics and the subjective assessments to evaluate employee performance. So, when we are talking about, that is the evaluation is only on the basis of that is the whatever the metrics you are having on the data, but here it is also important, that is the we make the subjective assessment. The traditional performance appraisal parameters which were judged only on the subjective parameters, maybe the essay writing appraisal, or maybe saying whether the person is good or excellent. But now we have with the period of time understood that is only one way of analysis will not is enough. So, therefore, we have to keep the parameters which will be having these quantitative and qualitative appraisal both. So, to evaluate the employee's performance, when we are talking about the quantitative criteria, these include the measurable factors like the sales figures, project completion times and the error rates, while qualitative criteria focus on subjective aspects such as teamwork, leadership qualities and creativity, that is the HR aspects are also important. So, one side we can keep these quantitative analysis of the fixed parameters which can be measurable, but the other side when we talk about the tacit knowledge or the tacit style of functioning of these employee, and that will be related to the HR skills and the getting work done from the other people. Now, here it also allows this approach to mix the qualitative with the quantitative for a more holistic assessment of an employee's contributions and the impact. Earlier we were either ignoring the HR skills or we were focusing more only on the HR skills, but when we are giving these more qualitative and quantitative approach, so that we understand that is the it is becoming the more and more the subjective also and the objective also, and as a result of which this holistic assessment is possible for the employee. Now, using both types of criteria ensures a balanced evaluation process. So, naturally the question will be arising, that is the which part is to be more, whether we should focus on the quantitative analysis or we should focus more on the subjective analysis, and the suggestion is that is the a balanced evaluation is to be finalized or the is to be designed. So, quantitative data provides a clear objective measure of the certain aspects of the job performance which can be crucial for roles with easily measurable outputs is there. Now, when we are talking about the achievement of targets, so naturally when there it will be measurable, so you will suggest the quantitative parameters are there, and whenever we are talking about the particular task which is to be completed, accomplishment of the task. So, that parameter has to be there, whether the task has been achieved or it has not been achieved. So, that will be the one side of the aspects. But when we are talking about these qualitative assessments that allow for the consideration of the interpersonal skills and the initiatives taken by the individual. So, achievement of target is good in a given time with the given aspects, that is fine, but at what cost? Whether you have used the manpower, human resources, your team in a proper direction or not. and therefore, these qualitative assessments allow for consideration of the interpersonal skills and the initiatives, which are the often critical for the teamwork and leadership roles. Otherwise, what will be the outcome that will be making you that is the how these targets have been achieved. So, to keep in mind, that is the whether the employee has achieved these targets with the proper teamwork and getting work done from the people in a collectively measure, then only this type of the evaluation that will justify the quantitative and qualitative evaluation both. The specific blend of these qualitative and quantitative criteria should be tailored to the nature of each job role within the organization, and here again, as I had talked earlier, that is parameters and standards, they are required to be the balance. Similarly, here we will find that is the criteria which is required, then that has to be the nature of each job role within the qualitative and quantitative both. For example, the roles in sales might lean more heavily on these quantitative metrics such as the revenue targets, while the roles in the creative departments might emphasize qualitative assessments. So, it will be depending upon the job, what is the job description and what is the job specification. On basis of the job, understanding the job is very important. So, once the job is understood, then you can keep these quantitative and the qualitative parameters accordingly. So, when you get these creative department, then definitely in that case you will like to give the more weightage on the innovation and the design originally. Here I would take an example of the case study, that is at EcoBuild, a construction firm focused on sustainable building practices. Performance evaluations include both qualitative and quantitative measures. So, quantitative engineers and the builders are assessed on the efficiency of material used and adhered to the project timelines. The qualitative, they are evaluated on their innovative approaches to sustainability and their ability to collaborate with the local communities to ensure projects meet environmental and the social standards are there. So, this dual approach helps to capture the full spectrum of the employee performance, from the technical execution to the creative problem solving and community engagement is there. Now, many jobs which are by the industries are not community engaged, then definitely in that case such type of the business, it is not sustainable. So, therefore, to make the business sustainable, that requires the community engagement also, and these are the aspects where the local community to ensure, and this will be the part of your when you are talking to the community, you are getting the feedback from the community, then it becomes your the qualitative aspect. So, it helps us to understand how can we incorporate both qualitative and quantitative criteria in one performance standards to capture the all dimensions of the employee performance. Second is important is this, okay, you have designed the parameters, you have designed those standards, you have fixed that is the what are the qualitative standards will be there, what will be the quantitative standards will be there, on basis of which the employee or a particular job that will be evaluated or committed by the employee. But important is this, the employee whose performance evaluation you are doing, then in that case it is important that he should know. So, communicate the standards. So, effective communication of performance standards means ensuring that every employee clearly understand the expectations regarding their job performance, and this involves defining the measurable and understandable criteria that align with both the organization's strategic goals and the individual roles. It is crucial that the performance standards are easily accessible to all employees, and this could be through digital platforms, printed material or the regular meetings, and therefore, the employee is able to clearly understand that is what are the expectations are there from by when I am performing this particular job. Many organizations are failing to do so, because they are not able to communicate to the employee, that is how his appraisal will be done. So, it always important that is you involve those all criteria which are easy to understand and communicate to the employees. And this communication could be through the digital platforms, printed material, right, or when you are having the regular meetings or in the beginning itself during the orientation program you can communicate. Transparency is about how the standards were developed and how they impact overall career progression, and this will be encouraging the trust and buy-in from the employees. This clarity, that is the your performance will be evaluated not only the meeting of the targets, but also with is your association with your colleagues, superiors, subordinates and the community, that will be also measured. And as you increase these parameters and you communicate to the employee, then definitely the employee will be having an idea, that is the on what parameters my appraisal is going to do, and then accordingly he will prepare himself and this communication of the standards are to be fixed in the beginning of this the task which is to be given to the employee. Ensuring that is the same performance standards are communicated consistently across various departments and levels within the organization avoids confusion and ensures equity. Now, this will not be applicable to only one employee. This is applicable to all the employees in all the departments. Otherwise, some departments will feel that is they have been given the support and their parameters are less and their evaluation process is easy, while in the case of the other departments they may feel that is their performance evaluation methods are they are becoming very difficult and it is difficult to achieve also. Now, this communication that will help us to understand why A is given the low targets and B has given the higher targets depending upon the what are the targets are there. So, these particularly important will be making you geographically and allowing organizations to grow rather than making them the depressed for the how they will be getting this outcome and achieve the goals. So, to communicate or to disperse this full information to the different employees at all the level, this is will be also making the effective communication and understanding of the performance standards. Here I would like to take the case study of this Tech Global, a software company with employees in multiple continents uses a combination of digital tools to communicate the performance standards effectively. So, HR implements an intranet system where all performance standards are clearly documented and accessible. They also utilize the regular visa conferencing for the interactive workshops where these standards are explained and employees they can see real life examples of how to meet them. So, here this organization is helping them to create this type of the support where they are having that interactive workshops which will be communicating them, that is what are the expectations from the employee. They also utilize the regular video conferencing for the interactive workshops where the standards are explained and employees can see real life examples of how to meet them. Each session is recorded and made available for the future reference. Now, and this ensures that the employees in different time zones can access the information at a convenient time. Always we have to also ensure that this is not only the one sided communication, but it has to be reached to the person and there has to be a feedback. So, here whenever when we are making this type of the future references and making these employees the understand that is what are the interactive workshops are there, then definitely that will making the convenient and easy for the employees to perform. This addresses the issue of the what methods and tools can use to communicate performance standards we effectively to all employees including the remote or the international team. Now, it is ensuring these performance standards here it involves a clearly defining what is expected of employees in terms of their roles, responsibilities and the criteria against which their performance will be evaluated. This communication which is making them the expected outcome This will helping them to eliminate the ambiguity and sets a clear roadmap for employees to follow. Effective communication is crucial in making sure that the performance standards are understood. This can be achieved through the multiple channels and such a meeting written documented where these different learning style of the ensures the all employees regardless of location have access to the same information. So, whenever we are making through these multiple channels as a meeting and written documents in the training sessions, we have to also ensure that is these learning styles and they are reached to the employee irrespective of globally wherever they are placed. So, that the all employees at the global level they will be able to get this particular information which is required to be for the guidance of the performance and on basis of those parameters they are going to be evaluated. So, as business strategies evolve and the job roles change, performance standards may need to be updated. As I mentioned in the previous session, that is with the social, technological and legal changes especially, there will be this type of the standards will keep on changing, and here the standards may need to be updated with the every change, and regularly revisiting and recommunicating these standards ensures that employees remain aware of these current expectations and how they can continue to contribute effectively, because once they know that is what will be their contribution and they understand that if they will contribute this way in continually, then they will have the growth in the organization. Here I would like to take the another case study, that is ensuring the understanding of performance standards at the finance corp, a financial service firm, to ensure that employees understand the performance standards and their purpose. HR organizes monthly that is a town hall meetings led by the senior leaders. In these meetings, the rationale the behind performance standards linking them to business goals like the customer satisfaction and operational efficiency is discussed. To reinforce understanding, HR follows up with a series of quizzes and interactive e-learning modules that employees can complete to test their knowledge of their standards and underlying reasons are there. So, once these parameters are communicated with the customer satisfaction and operational efficiency as in this the finance corp company, then it will be having the more interactive e-learning modules. So, these employees can complete to set their knowledge of these standards and underlying reasons they are required to perform into the finance corp. So, this ensures that how can we ensure that employees understand the standards and the reasons behind them, and this communication of that is why these parameters are expected and how they are likely to be achieved, and then what are the rationale behind these parameters that will be communicated to the employees. So, employees will having the full trust to achieve the organizational goals. This training for managers are the communication standards on in HR and performance management involves equipping the managers with the skills and knowledge necessary to effectively communicate performance expectations. Now, HR department also should have the proper skills and knowledge. So, that is what performance standards are required to be performed, and especially at the middle and senior level, the HR department should be able to communicate that is what sort of these expectations are there by the organizations, and these will be definitely will give a feedback and that evaluates to their effectively communication and making the feedback and evaluation to their team members. This training is crucial for ensuring that the performance standards are clearly understood and consistently applied across the organization. This is a very important step, that is to get this feedback whether the employees have understood their because normally what happens in the organizations, they make a circular and circular goes to all the employees. When it goes to all the employees, it is understood by the organization that the employees have understood what performance standards are expected from them, but it is not so. Some of them they get this information, some of them do not get this information, some of them they misinterpret the information, some of they understand the information. So, therefore, it becomes a very important step of ensuring that is whatever the performance standards are clearly mentioned, they are understood and then they are applied from the organization. Training also emphasizes that is the importance of adaptability and cultural sensitivity in the communication. Managers learn to tailor their communication style to fit the diverse needs of their team members. The team members are taking into the account different cultural backgrounds, personality types and communication preferences, and therefore, when you are having the international or with the team with the culturally diverse team, then definitely this communication is very important. That is the to learn how to communicate the performance standards. Here I would like to take this case study of this retail chain with the numerous locations nationwide recognizes the need for the managers to effectively communicate performance standards. HR develops a specialized training program for managers focusing on communication skills, cultural sensitivity and methods for delivering the constructive feedback. This training includes the role playing scenarios and the case studies that cover the various real world situations managers might encounter, and they also receive a toolkit with the guidelines and the checklist to ensure the consistency across the all stores. This focuses on what training or resources can be provided to managers and supervisors to help them communicate these standards effectively, so that the all employees, those who are working in the organization, they get this message, that is the how these standards will be working and how these standards will be evaluated or the measured against their performances. So, reviewing and recommunicating the standards involves regularly evaluating and updating the performance criteria and used to assess employee achievements and the contribution. Here other two dimensions are very important. One dimension is this, that is these are the standards which have been communicated and regularly evaluating and updating. Second aspect is that is the what the employees they have achieved and contribution, that is also to be communicated, so that they understand where they require to be put the more efforts. This ensures that the standard remain relevant to the current business objectives, reflect any new the industry practices and are aligned with the organizations evolving to the strategic goals. It is essential to schedule the periodic reviews of the performance standards and typically one on annual or the biannual basis, and these reviews allow the organization to incorporate feedback and various stakeholders. It is not possible, that is to keep on changing these parameters very frequently, but as we see that this is possible to change an annual or the biannual basis. So, on the basis of this feedback from the various stakeholders, then they will adopt to the change in the market and incorporate technologies advancements that may after the job roles may be required. Now, I have taken the example of the health plus earlier. Now, I would like to take the health innovation as a case study of the reviewing and recommunicating standards. A fast growing biotech company reviews its performance standards biannually to keep pace with the rapid technological advancements and the regulatory changes in the biotech industry. So, HR schedules these reviews before the start of the fiscal year and the mid-year is there, followed by the webinar and a newsletter including these whatever the changes are there. This regular assessment helps maintain relevant and achievable standards that reflect both the current industry practices and the company objectives are there. Now, these type of practices are how often should we review and recommunicate the standards accommodation changes in the organization or industry, and therefore this discussion helps us to fix the time, that is whether you will like to have annually, biannually or the quarterly, you will like to make the evaluation of performance standards after communicating to them, that is the what aspects they have been left. So, these feedback mechanisms in HRM performance management refers to the systems and processes set up to facilitate open continuous communication between employees, their peers and the supervisors regarding performance. These mechanisms aims to provide constructive criticism and the praise, because the that constructive criticism in the sense that whatever the feedback you receive, you will work on that particular feedback and then you will improve that your performance, and the praise enhance performance and the promote the personal and professional growth within the organization while working with all people togetherness. Now, the properly implemented feedback mechanism help in identifying the areas of improvement, reinforcing behaviors that align with the company goals, increasing the employee engagement and satisfaction, and ultimately driving organizational success. The feedback also supports the personal development of employees by making them aware of their strengths and weaknesses and areas where they require to improve. For feedback mechanisms to the successful in organization, culture that encourages and values feedback must be cultivated. This involves training managers and employees are how to give and receive feedback constructively, and setting up a norm where feedback is seen as a positive and integral part of the daily work. These creative designs an advertising agency with a creative and dynamic workforce sets up a performance standards feedback system using a digital suggestion box and the regular focus groups. Employees can anonymously submit their questions and concerns about the performance standards via the digital tool. HR host quarterly focuses the group where the employees can discuss these performance standards very openly, and this dual approach allows HR to gather the feedback in various formats, ensuring that all employees, regardless of their comfort with the direct confrontation, have a vote in the evaluation process is there. So, therefore, they can talk and they can communicate. This makes the what feedback mechanisms that can be established to ensure the employees can ask questions and express the concern about the standards. Finally, we will talk about the measure the actual performance. Technology and tools for the performance data collection in HRM performance management refers to the software and systems used to gather, store and analyze the information regarding employee performance. These tools facilitate the tracking of these key performance indicators, goals achievements and the other metrics that are critical for the assessing the employee productivity and effectiveness. Common tools used in this area include the performance management software, human resource information systems and the specialized applications for feedback and goal tracking. This can range from atmosphere platforms like SAP, SuccessFactors, and here the Workly or the Oracle HCM or the two more specific tools focused on the continuous feedback and real time performance tracking, such as the 15.5 or these lattice is there. So, on basis of this making these certain using platforms and the technologies, then we can make the modern tools often provide real time data and analytics. These are enabling managers and HR performers to monitor the performances as it happens and adjust the strategies or the provide feedback promptly. This capability supports a more dynamic and responsive approach to performance the management, aligning the more closely with the fast open work environments. Here I would like to take a case study of the technology and tools for the performance data collections, and HR utilizes an integrated performance management software platform that seamlessly combines the project management tools time tracking and the real time feedback features. This platform allows managers and HR professionals to monitor project progress, track time spent on the various tasks and collect the feedback from multiple sources all in one place, and the software automatically generates the performance reports based on these predefined metrics, reducing manual data entry and increasing the accuracy in performance evaluation. This also helps us to understand that is what technology and tools that can be used to collect the data on employee performance accurately and efficiently. So, these are the certain aspects that we are talking about, and rest of the part we will discuss next time. Thank you.